'em down. When the sign of intelligence come around, challenging authority in your part of town, that kind of diligence will get you. Gun 'em down, 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 gun 'em down. That kind of diligence will get you. Gun 'em down.
Think about it. Who would ever step into the think tank with bliss intents? I'll be coming on to lectures, perplex the weak, but less effective. These perspectives seem in the midst of dumb war with the sum of the hull. Brain by the automatic.
All right, collaboration's the key. This track here, but I'm not even gonna say it's on. I'm gonna explain this how it breaks down. This one's kind of complicated. I always, my thing when I do stuff, it's all about I like concept. It's a concept album, and this song in itself is a concept and a project in itself. All throughout the late 80s and 90s, I was like managing a bunch of different artists, artist development, helping artists out, and that's a very it was a lot of fun. I got a lot of experience, but it's also very taxing, very time-consuming thing. And by the time the mid-90s hit, I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I'm spending so much time working with other artists and not spending time on my own projects. And the last group that I worked with was this group Mental Block, when they were still in high school. And the producer was a guy named JEL, who you might know as one, the great producers of that last era. And he's the guy, I'll go on record and say it, but I'm not gonna say I'm 100% correct. But this dude kind of mastered the SP1200. And he was the first guy I saw taking an SP12 out live, playing the live beats, rocking stage shows live on tour, rocking SP1200. I saw it first done by him in the capacity that right now is kind of a thing. People do it. The live production thing is a thing. JEL was doing this in the 90s, and I hadn't seen anyone else do it. And he was the last guy that I really managed. And he was one of the only groups that I managed that actually turned it into a fledgling career. So, that was okay, I ended on a high note. I managed someone, they got successful, I'm out. So, fast forward to like 2005, 2006, I'm down in Florida, Orlando, and I connect with this guy, X144. He's just like an ill producer, ill MC, great sound engineer in the studio. He, a few years ago, he buys a camera and is self-taught how to be a videographer, making quality music videos, all this stuff. Just like a super talented guy, hard work ethic, everything, just like the full package, and kind of just blew me away with what he was doing. And so he reached out to me, was like, hey, I would like to have you as part of my team. I was like, well, I can't be a full-time manager, but I really love what you're doing. I want to be involved. And so it came time for this. I was like, let me get the last guy that I worked with in the 90s where I quit the whole management game, collaborating with the guy that I'm working with now was the idea. But once again, what happened was, around this same time, X144 got an opportunity to work with Lauryn Hill. Right now, he's working with Lauryn Hill as a producer, an engineer, videographer, on tour with her, and he just didn't have time to record the verse. He did record the hook and come up with a concept. When I first got the idea to pair them together, when I asked JEL for the beat, I was like, who's an MC you want to work with or are about to work with that you want to add to the track? And he said, NoCanDo. I'm a big NoCanDo fan from the Scribble Jam days. I thought he's always been a great, perfect balance of a freestyle MC and a great writer, which most battle MCs are not. So I was like, yeah, that's perfect. NoCanDo, X144 on a JEL beat? All right, let's do it. So when X couldn't do it, he called his main dude, Swam, from Solillaquists of Sound, to take over and kick the verse. So we got X on the chorus, Swam on the first verse, killing it. Just killing it. Just like the concept of gun 'em down as a track is not conforming, not following the rules, gunning down the things that your adversities. And so I was like, okay, we got it. So I get this to NoCanDo. I'm like, all right, NoCan, and this dude is like busy. He's got his music projects, his Hellfire Club label that he runs, the label with some people. He has his Low End Theory night they do in LA. That's a successful production night that's been going on for a long time. Once again, NoCan was just not having time to do this. Getting down to the last couple of days of man, I need this verse. And so he went in the studio and he's like, I'll drop a freestyle. He dropped the freestyle and sent it to me. And it was totally different than the concept of the song. So it was conceptual in the sense that he wasn't even conforming to the idea of the song and the song about nonconformity. So it came just this whole event, how the song got put together, and it come out real nice. And yeah, it's just like it shows collaboration is the key.
That kind of diligence will get you. Gun 'em down.
Yeah, I'm a artiste, drunk off that gin. Where my car keys? Feeling like an animal. I.R.B. They let me off the leash.